I'm so pleased to have got to see Gabe Lee at Long Road. You had a massive meet and greet line. Woo. And finally I've got to catch up with Gabe and get a few words.
Absolutely, it's good to see you, and we're so thrilled to be here at the Long Road and the UK for the first time, and to see folks that have even shown up with their own merch, t-shirts they've bought prior to this to sign. And then we had a great line after the set, folks snagging CDs and whatnot, and everyone's just so friendly. So we're stoked to be here.
Brilliant. Are you making a tour of it, or is it just Long Road? What are your plans now?
This is just a short one, but a festival is one of the best ways to break into a community and see what it's going to be like, for the fan base. We came in yesterday morning, flew in overnight, and then last night I found a little gig at a place called Checkers Pub just right down the road in Swinford, and played for an hour and a half and had a couple free beers, and it was a blast too. We had some folks come out for that, so definitely testing the waters. We'll definitely be back.
A full tour would be wonderful, and a nice intimate sort of tour as well, I think would be lovely, just with light instrumentation. That would be my pick. But
you're absolutely right. When we're back home in the States, one of my favorite places to play, my favorite types of venues are definitely your smaller theaters, your listening rooms.
Yeah.
You don't always get that. Sometimes, I grew up playing in honky tonks, and that is a lot of fun too. It just depends on what type of crowd you get, what type of town you're in. But you're absolutely right. Like, if I can bring my dobro player, my fiddle player, and present it in that more acoustic fashion, the most recent record, Drink the River, would definitely resonate best that way.
Yeah, I've been playing lots of music from that. I must admit, I didn't know you had those two earlier albums, so we'll talk about those in a minute.
Good.
Property Line, I think, is just incredible.
It's fun,
the
right?
second I heard it, I was like, wow.
We definitely dug into the John Prine roots of that song, and having some fun, being free with our use of humor in song. There's so many different types of great songwriters coming up right now, and there's a lot of folks who are successful at making people cry. But I think it's more powerful sometimes to make people laugh. Digging into those John Prine roots, writing a song about how, everybody in their own way is kind of territorial these days,
Yeah, it's just so... I must admit, I must have to go back and listen to the words if they're like deep and meaningful. Normally I do, but it was just the catchiness of the melody that really, really struck me with that.
Sure.
I just keep like an earworm all day long, after it, yeah.
I love to hear it. Stream the heck out of it.
Yeah, we'll play it now then.
Daddy bought 100 acres outside of Birmingham. Never knew a man to love better than driving on his own land. Dashboard to scratch off tickets, putting miles on that old white truck, hauling around misfortune and turning it into luck. One day two knucklehead fools come philandering over the hill. Yeah, I heard it was one of the Bradleys, or whichever one ain't in jail, slipping down under the fence, drunk on Mountain Dew, straight up the double-barrel side, a dad sawed-off Busteroo, talking back a grin. He tells him, property line, you keep on your side, I stick on mine. You come wandering up this way, a little too long, sure to find red hot smoking in my property line. The other night I did a month of drinking. Y'all know how the story goes. I found me a beautiful girl. Her name was Darla, or was it Rose? Anyhow, we barely even got to talking. I sucker punched right in the mouth by her 6-foot dang ex-girlfriend. Dear mama, this ain't the South. They threw me against the bar screaming, property line, you keep on your side, stick on mine. Come on wandering up this way, a little too long, you're sure to find the red hot smoking in my property line. So don't you come around again, my property line.
I'm so pleased to be joined by Gabe Lee after his set here at the Long Road. The sun is shining. We've had a few patchy weathers, but it's really, really lovely. So I think you've brought the American weather with you.
Oh yeah, I think it's turning out pretty nice. There's a lot of folks out here. We've been having a blast.
And where are you based?
So I'm based in Nashville, Tennessee. It's actually my hometown. When I'm not on the road, I'm there writing music.
Great. I've got a really good friend called Evelyn, and it's spelt the same, but then I love how you say it now, Eveline.
Yeah, Eveline. It's a song about looking back. It's definitely one of the more touching, I think, melodies and tunes that I have. But it's off the record Farmland, which is my debut record in 2019. And Eveline's truly it's a song about one that didn't work out. But I think I found, as a songwriter, you're always searching for your voice as an author and your presentation and the story. And I think that was one of the earlier songs where I felt like I was getting close to honing in on that voice. Yeah.
I love it, so we'll play that now.
Wheels of fortune, away we ride to Arizona in better times. Gambler skinny, suit and tie, going under to stay alive. If I'd have known by now what it cost to give everything away and take along, well, I'd have wished and I'd have prayed and rolled the dice. Eveline, Eveline, all the way down to Santa Fe. It ain't quit raining until you came and pulled me over and stole the keys and killed the engine and kissed my cheek. If I'd have known by now it had to be that life was more than rust and gasoline. Hand me the keys, honey, hand me the keys, I'll give you a ride. Eveline, Eveline, Richland, Walmart to Frankie's Pond. It ain't stopped snowing since you're gone. Store-bought envy gets you high, keeps you sober, the homemade wine. If I'd have known by now I was wrong, that you were on my mind all along, I would've never run or ever tried to leave or made you wanna cry. Eveline, 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 Eveline.
That was a new version of Evelyn, or Eveline, that is on Gabe Lee's brand new album called Drink the Water. And what are some of your musical influences? Who are some of the people you grew up listening? You mentioned John Prine.
Definitely some John Prine. I mean, I grew up with a lot of folk singers. Your Paul Simons, as well as Jim Croce, who's a great Southern storyteller. Honestly, a lot of Southern rock. I mean, Lynyrd Skynyrd was just one of those bands, and CCR as well, and The Band, Dylan's backing band, The Band. All these incredible storytellers and singers have definitely shaped, my love for music growing up. I wasn't necessarily writing songs from an early age, but I was writing songs when I started to feel things enough to put them down into words, probably like high school, college. I grew up playing the piano. My love for music has been a long time thing. I went to school briefly for it there in Nashville at a little music school called Belmont, and I was chasing it for a while, and then I decided to kind of take a break and take my music education outside of the classroom, and started listening to more music, contemporary stuff like Chris Stapleton, Brandi Carlile, Jason Isbell, all these incredible news storytellers in the early 2010s, and really started to form my voice then.
I can actually hear Chris at times, not as gruff and obviously very much your own style, but at times I could hear that slight thing, so that's interesting. And the Honky Tonk album, is that the one before this one?
Yeah, Honky Tonk Hell, that was a 2020 record, and it's got a lot of pedal steel.
Oh, I love pedal steel.
It's got a lot of organ, swing, twangy guitar. Honky Tonk Hell definitely addresses, I guess, my experience as a songwriter in Nashville growing up, being surrounded and not trapped, but being required to be in that honky tonk environment, which is loud, brash, noisy, and just a great party at times. As a musician in Nashville, that is absolutely part of the way that you make your career there. And so Honky Tonk Hell, there's a great song called Imogene, which is probably the more storytelling song on the record, in contrast to all the rock and roll. Imogene is about a ghost town. It's about left behind places, both in your heart and your mind. And I kind of wrote it about towns that I drive past when I'm on the road, and I think to myself, well, what if I just hid away and escaped for a while? And I think we all have thought that, in our travels, in our day-to-day. What if I could just, escape for a minute? So yeah, Imogene, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, well, before I play that, thank you so much for stopping by, and do enjoy the rest of your time in the UK, and please do come back and do a full tour.
Thanks, we love it here, and we'll certainly be back.
I struck out on the road tonight, redneck leather, Japanese ties, running from a woman, looking for a fight, breaking down from time to time. When I woke up in the morning, I must have lost my way, wound up smack dab in the middle of Ghost Town, USA. Backwoods, Mississippi, a population 23. I came by to take a load off, now I never wanna leave. Ain't nothing to see, just a little patch of rough hiding in the green. And you can tell the folks back home if they're still asking after me. I'm working it all out in Imogene. Shotgun City, Tiller Motor Oil, streaks of lightning buzzing on the coal. I used to work all day, fucking work all night, spill my heart out on the slide. Well, it's hard to make a living hiding money in the can, 'cause you can't cash out what you ain't cashed in. You take your dead-end job on a dead-end street, throw it on the record, put it on repeat. Ain't nothing to see, just a little patch of rough hiding in the green. And you can tell the folks back home if they're still asking after me. I ain't ever coming back, I ain't ever coming back, I ain't ever coming back to Imogene.